I can see the journey that I've made, and it starts to become clearer how I actually moved from painting to costumes, to photography, and then to moving image. My great-great-grandfather was a Nigerian chief. My father is a lawyer, so I grew up really in a fairly affluent situation because I didn't grow up feeling inferior to anyone, so I couldn't quite understand the hierarchy of race in this country. My figures are neither white nor black, and they don't have any kind of facial features that will make you identify them racially. It's a device that manages to make the pieces post-racial. Dorian Gray is probably the point at which I first talked about the ideas of disability in my work. I put myself in the series as Dorian Gray. I was thinking more about my own mortality, my own internal conflicts, and then, of course, that difficulty in relation to my own kind of vanity as well.
When the Metropolitan Opera said they wanted me to do an opera, they suggested Shostakovich. And then the horse is going to come in like a circus horse. But first prize for me would be to do Gogol's story, The Nose. I've always wanted to do a Russian project, which is both the political history and the poetry and the writing. So here I advance the image 1, 2 frames. They all come into the production of The Nose, not all of them into the opera, of course, but chunks of them into what we had at Sydney and various other iterations of the material. Particularly in South Africa, the sense of an art that could have a connection to politics was very important. The Sydney piece is a series of 8 projections in one room at the same time, called I Am Not Me, the Horse Is Not Mine.
And one understands that these are simply torn pieces of black paper arranged in a certain way.
The title comes from a Russian peasant saying, denying guilt. If you're accused of something, you'd simply say, I am not me, the horse was not mine. In other words, I didn't steal the horse.
Stop. None of this makes sense. What is our edge? What is our edge indeed? None of these things.
They're not only satellite pieces. It's material that's been excavated while working on the opera that then has its own place. So it's either like kind of a footnote to the opera or an essay about the opera.
What am I doing this stuff? What am I doing on top of this ladder the whole time? Brackets. Prolonged laughter. Uproar in the room.
I always wanted a lot of attention. I had taken ballet lessons as a child. I wanted everyone looking at me. Then I wanted to be spinning, doing somersaults off the diving tower in Los Angeles. And people look at you when you do that. When I told my mother I wanted to be an artist, she said, "You'll starve in a garret." And in my mind, I thought, yes, that's exactly what I wanted. It turns out that it was really a mission I was on, and it was just about the only thing I thought about, doing art. In the beginning, the art enterprise was doing something important, beautiful, sort of all by yourself. As I got into it and matured, I saw that the most important thing about doing artwork was communicating and having something like a conversation through the work. This Vanishing Point painting that I made, I love it. It's one black thing with 2 little lines on it. I think that's it. So let's see how that looks. I've probably been thinking about it for 4 months, trying to figure out how to get that just right. Yeah. And I think I've got it. That's it, 2-lane blacktop. And once I get that, I think I'll make about 12 of those paintings.